So, there's a new kind of artist in the studio. And this one, well, it doesn't need a record deal. It never sleeps, and it can write a complete song in seconds from just a single line of text. We are, of course, talking about generative AI, and it is absolutely poised to change everything about how music is made, heard, and even valued.
But before we get totally lost in the technology, it's so important to remember what's really at stake here. Because music isn't just a file you download. It's an entire ecosystem of creators, of sound engineers, producers, and fans. It's a deeply human art form and, let's not forget, a massive global economy. It's all of us, really.
So in this explainer, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll look at how this new AI sound actually works. Then we'll dive into the legal and ethical storm it's kicking up. We'll ask that big question, are robots really replacing rock stars? Then we'll explore a potential path forward, a blueprint for ethical AI. And finally, we'll try to figure out what this all means for the future of creativity itself.
Okay, so how did we even get here? I mean, how do we teach a machine to compose a symphony or write the next big pop anthem?
You know, this isn't science fiction anymore. Since tools like Suno burst onto the scene in late 2023, pretty much anyone can create incredibly realistic songs. We're talking vocals, instruments, the whole shebang, just by typing a description. A leap like this was bound to make some serious waves.
At its core, what we're talking about with generative audio is using these really complex algorithms, these deep neural networks, to automate the process of making sound. The whole goal is to simulate how a human would create something, whether that's a simple sound effect or a really complex piece of music.
So what was the big breakthrough that made today's powerful tools possible? Well, it really came down to a key technical choice. See, the early models were often unstable and super hard to train, so you'd get unpredictable results. The real game changer was a more reliable approach called diffusion models. They provided the stability you need to create high-quality audio consistently. That shift is what unlocked the AI music tools we're seeing today.
But here's the thing. Training an AI on raw audio is incredibly slow and super expensive. So developers found this brilliant workaround. They take the audio file and convert it into a kind of picture. It's called a MEL spectrogram. The AI can process this much simpler image way more efficiently, and then it's converted back into sound. It's a really clever trick that makes the whole process faster and way more accessible for everyone.
But of course, this incredible innovation didn't just arrive quietly. Oh no, it came with a tidal wave of legal and ethical questions that are now crashing right into our courtrooms. And this right here is the absolute heart of the conflict. In June 2024, the RIA filed a massive lawsuit against AI companies like Suno. They're accusing them of building their models by illegally copying a huge library of copyrighted music without any permission. They're basically saying it's infringement on an almost unimaginable scale.
And the stakes here, they could not be higher. The RIA is seeking damages of up to $150,000 for every single song they can prove was used without permission. Just think about that. When you consider the millions of songs these models were likely trained on, the numbers just become astronomical.
And you know, the concerns go way beyond just copyright. This technology really opens the Pandora's box of other potential dangers. We're talking about scams using cloned voices, political deepfakes, and even the massive energy footprint these models have. There's even an artistic fear that if we rely too much on AI, we could end up with a bland, standardized sound that actually stifles real musical diversity.
So this brings us to the big one, right? The question that's on every artist's mind, is AI coming for my job? And the answer, as you can probably guess, is, well, it's complicated.
It seems like AI is impacting jobs in two very different ways. For roles that are heavy on technical execution, think of a sound engineer, it can act as a substitute, automating those repetitive tasks like cleaning up audio tracks. But for roles that are all about the artistic component, like a composer, it's more of an amplifier. It becomes this powerful new tool to expand their imagination.
So no, the composer isn't being replaced, but the role is definitely changing. The new skill set is all about becoming an expert supervisor of the AI. It's about developing your prompt skills to get the best results, and then using your human taste to select, to edit, and to be the final say on the artistic quality. You become the director, not just the writer.
So if the current path is just leading to lawsuits and a lot of fear, is there another way forward? Well, some innovators are saying yes, and it all starts with opening up the black box.
The black box is the central problem with a lot of these current AIs. We feed data in, something musical comes out, but we have no idea what happened inside. We don't know exactly what music it was trained on or how it made its creative choices, and that makes it impossible to trace where the ideas came from or prove that it's all legal.
So what's the alternative? Well, a company called Dachi is pioneering what they call a transparent, rule-based system. And this is a huge difference. Instead of being trained on a vast, unknown library of scraped data, their AI is taught music theory from the ground up, just like a human student. And because no unauthorized material ever enters the system, the copyright risk just vanishes. The whole process is traceable, which frames the output as a genuine human-AI collaboration that can be legally copyrighted.
And this is how they actually do it. The system actively tracks human creative input across these 5 distinct stages. So from the initial idea all the way to the final production, every single choice can be traced back to its human creator. This makes sure everyone gets proper credit and fair compensation, which could create a sustainable ecosystem for everybody involved.
Ultimately, we're standing at a major crossroads. The decisions we're making right now about how we build this technology and how we regulate it are going to define the future of art itself.
And you know, there's a real opportunity in this moment. Countries like the UK are already global leaders in music, and now they have the chance to lead in ethical AI as well. This just goes to show that creative excellence and technological innovation don't have to be enemies. They absolutely can, and probably should, grow together.
So, that leaves us with a final massive question. Are we going to build AI to be a powerful new instrument in the hands of human artists? Or are we building something that's designed to replace them? You see, the technology itself is neutral. It's the values we embed in it and the legal lines we draw around it that will determine the answer. The choice, truly, is ours.